Hey guys, what's going on? Today I am bringing you guys something very, very special to me. I am going to be reviewing Ignite by Paradis. See, the super special bit of this is that I was actually sent it for free for a completely honest review, which is what you're going to be getting today. 90% of this video is going to be completely spoiler free because I know a lot of you haven't read it, let alone heard of it. And then at the end I'm just going to go through a few specific parts that I really, really loved, that were very funny or heart-wrenching or whatever. That way once you guys pick it up and read it like you really, really should, you can come back and then discuss actual parts of the book with me. This was probably a bad place to film. Now, because I'm assuming a lot of you don't know about this book, I'm gonna have to give you a synopsis. So we follow this girl named Lauren Lindsay, your basic newly 21-year-old. A few years back, her father died in an untimely mining incident. Of course, she's still not really over it, but before he passed away, he remarried. Of course, this new family that he remarried into has another family tragedy, which leaves 3 kids in Lauren's care. And basically all Lauren wants to do is run away like any 21-year-old would want to in this situation until she meets Dean Powell. And basically we just follow Lauren with this new life that she's been forced into if she wants to keep the kids or give them up for foster care, and her whole relationship with Dean, and it's really, really wonderful. Now, I'll be completely honest, I kind of was hesitant to pick it up when I first received it. I figured it's adult, I'm not used to the structure, it's just gonna be another crappy love story. But then I start, and I'm on page 5, right? And then I'm like, okay, this is already getting 4 stars. Then I hit like page 50, and I'm just like, how could I ever have underestimated the amazingness in this novel? It is so freaking good. Ignite completely deserves all 5 stars I gave on Goodreads. And now for my general thoughts. Now, like I said before, one of the reasons why I was hesitant to pick it up was because it's considered new adult. I actually don't know, I've seen it associated with a couple different main genres, but while it is NA, it feels very YA. It has a lot of the same components as a young adult contemporary romance. It has passionate love, an immense amount of humor, completely ridiculous, embarrassing situations. It just has the whole package. It's just phenomenal. I really hate distinguishing between genres because I feel like it restricts the reader too much, but regardless of what it's considered, it was really good. Now, personally to me, it kind of resembles the feeling you get when you read Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I feel like Lauren and Dean's relationship is very, very similar to Anna and Etienne's. They go through a lot of the same situations as Anna and Etienne, and you feel a lot of the same frustration that you probably felt while reading Anna and the French Kiss. It just has the right amount of cuteness and awkwardness and embarrassment and ridiculous situations and passion, and it is just absolutely perfect. It is definitely very comparable to Stephanie Perkins' book. It just has a lot more like adult situations put into it, but honestly, if you loved Anna and the French Kiss, you'll love Ignite. It's honestly such a perfect romance. Alright, now I'm going to talk a little bit about the character specifically. Lauren is an absolutely great main character. I absolutely loved reading from her point of view. She is so funny and hysterical, and I literally just can't get over it. I also feel that she's a very relatable character. I mean, just imagine if you were designated to take care of 3 kids that you barely know, and she puts her all into that situation, and I feel like that's a very, very admirable trait that Lauren has. While obviously nobody is a perfect human being, I really, really enjoyed reading from her point of view and following her story. Alright, now let's talk about Dean Powell. I have been waiting for so long to just talk about Dean Powell. Dean Powell. What can I say about Dean Powell? Dean is one of those characters that is just impossible not to fall in love with. I kind of pictured him as a mix between Jensen Ackles and Zac Efron, so I just hope that description makes you realize how freaking hot this guy is. Oh my god, he's beautiful. He is just one of those characters that just radiates charisma off the pages of the book, and I actually kind of held my breath while reading about him sometimes. Like, anytime he would enter a scene, I just loved him so much, and I was so attracted to him that I could not breathe, like I was actually in the room with him. And that is a wonderful part of this book. I absolutely love how great he is with these kids too. I mean, he's just their neighbor, but it's really like he has this fatherly and brotherly love for these kids, and boys that are good with kids, you know you love them. And I also really, really loved his character development in this book. Now, of course, when we first meet any beautiful, sarcastic, and witty character, he's a total womanizer. That's just the way the world evolves. But it was so refreshing, but it was so satisfying to see him go through this internal struggle of breaking the person that he used to be and actually trying to create the person he feels he's meant to be. It was a really, really beautiful transition that he made, and he is definitely one of my all-time favorite male characters. Now, Emma. I fell in love with Emma the second we met this kid. Emma is the youngest of the 3 children that Lauren is meant to take care of. She's only 4 years old, and it is literally so impossible not to love such an affectionate 4-year-old. I mean, she's already adorable as it is. Throw in a crush on Dean Powell, and she's just this big ball of adorableness. As a 4-year-old, she really doesn't understand the situation she's put in yet, but I love how accepting she was of Lauren when she first arrived because she got so much resentment from Callie, which I will talk about later. She was just a huge mass of innocence and cuteness in the novel, and it was really, really lovely to find a character like that. Alright, now Chase. Chase is the middle child. He's like 10 years old, and I'm kind of disappointed because we don't see a lot of him. When first arrives, we kind of get the feeling that he's like a little indifferent to it, like he doesn't want her there, he doesn't mind. We don't really find out a lot about how he feels about Lauren until he's actually presented with the question of if he likes her or not, and the response, to quote Lauren, almost tore her heart in two. You know, he really didn't play a big part in it, but the role he did was just really, really wonderful, and I kind of wish we got to see more of him. And Callie. Let's talk about Callie. From the moment we met Callie, I hated her. She's obviously the bitchy teenager in this novel. When Lauren arrives, she's just so resentful to her presence. It's like sickening. I mean, she's basically your average teenager full of angst who doesn't like authority, and I just could not stand to read about her and Lauren in the same room. It wasn't until about halfway through the book when I actually started to like Callie. She takes a couple of different actions that are totally out of character, at least I felt, and I'll talk about this more in the spoiler section, but then I realized that she's not out of character, we just weren't aware of her motives and her actual feelings on the situation, and that was another great piece of character development that I just loved. Oh my god, the characters in this book. I really did end up falling in love with Callie. You know, if you read it, then you'll definitely know what I'm talking about, but I really love characters that I start hating and end up loving, and Callie is a prime example of that. Now, like I said earlier, I was afraid it was going to be just another love story, but boy was I wrong. This is just, it's so much more. First off, Dean and Lauren's romance is unlike any other that I've read before. Yes, we have the godlike boy that everyone is obsessed with and the average unsuspecting girl, but over the course of their relationship, as short as it may have been, they just became so much more than these archetypes that we created. But over the course of their relationship, as short as it may be, they really came out of those roles that I kind of expected them to play into just so much more. And this book deals with a lot more themes like family, responsibility, loss, honesty, and it's really, really got some good stuff. I only really had two small problems with this book. For one, I felt like it was a little rushed at the beginning. You know, for the first like 80 pages or so, like so many events were happening so quickly that you weren't able to grasp what just happened. And I mean, the story only takes place over about a month or two, I think. And the other one is that there were a lot of coincidences. My main problem with fiction is that I always expect it to be more realistic than it actually is. And to an extent, Ignite was. But if you might have noticed, anytime I talk about the bad things that are contemporary, it's usually that there are too many coincidences and it's not realistic enough. And I just have high expectations just generally. I really feel like these two problems were not a writer's issue, but a reader's issue. These are both things that I'll pick up on a book regardless of the plot or anything else that was put into it. So I don't blame the story, I really blame myself for those two problems. And the last non-spoiler note I want to make is that this writing style was just so lovely to read. While it's written in first person from Lauren, it has that kind of stream of consciousness writing that I've talked about that I just love, where it feels like you're actually experiencing the events alongside the narrator. Like my prime example of this, so Lauren goes, "No, it's cool," I said, trying to imitate Snoop Dogg, Snoop Lion, whatever. You can't just change your name. I don't even know why I found that so funny, but I did, and this book is just full of little comments like that, and it's so lovely. So I think that is the end of the general review of this book. I really, really hope you guys pick up this book. It definitely deserves way more hype. This book is the definition of an underhyped book, and it really, really needs more support, which I hope it'll gain by giving you guys this review. But before I get into the specifics, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Lily, Elia, everyone else who had anything to do with the making of this book, because it was really, really phenomenal, and I just really, really hope you guys pick it up and let me know what you think of it. Leave a comment below if you're thinking of picking it up, and then leave a comment when you actually do pick it up, because you should. That's it for now. I'm just going to talk about a few little spoilery things if you want to hang around. It really doesn't give it that much into the plot, but I have to say there's spoilers or somebody's going to cry about it. So bye, non-spoiler people. Okay, so the first part I absolutely fell in love with was when Lauren's at the house for the first time and she opens the door and Dean is there and she literally just faints. Oh my god, it was so hysterical. It was such a Bella Swan move and it was just absolutely perfect. The scene where Lauren is in the hospital after the avalanche is just way too funny. So basically this is the part right after Lauren wakes up and she's so drugged out that she thinks this is all a dream. And so the nurse is saying how like when she moves the machine doesn't think that she's breathing and it's causing it to go kind of haywire. So Lauren goes, "Nope, I'm pretty sure it's Dean's rugged sexuality interfering with the machines." And that line comes up so much more in the book and it was just, oh my god, drugged out characters are the best. I also loved how when they were at Disneyland, Lauren gets food poisoning. It's like the middle of the night and she's throwing up in the bathroom and then Chase comes in and is like, "Dean needs Lauren." So Jenny basically drags her into Dean's room while Dean is on the floor with food poisoning, just sets them both down on the bathroom floor while they're completely sick and is just like, "I'll see you in the morning." It was just So ridiculous. It was just so ridiculous. And another really good line from Lauren is, traitors. I couldn't believe they would just leave 2 people with food poisoning here to die like this. She's so sassy, it's wonderful. Alright, so I said that I would talk to you guys about when I first started to really love Callie. I first started not hating Callie when they were talking about her relationship with Dean. And she's like, you guys are actually cute together. I just thought you were another slut that was gonna be with Dean and then leave. And that showed me a lot of insight into her characters and her motives like I was saying before. And then I really started to love her when she cut the girl's ponytail off. Girl with trichotillomania or something like that. The disease where like you pull out your hair. She's giving a presentation and then some bitch in the back of the classroom's like, I don't want to hear about this girl in her head case. It's her fault that she's crazy. So Callie literally just gets up and cuts her ponytail off, and it was so good. That was something I was so not expecting from Callie. And then I love how Lauren picks her up and she turns her and she's just like, I am so proud of you. I'm going to bake you a cake. And then Callie's like, you can't bake. And she's like, so I'll buy you a cake. That whole scene was one of my favorite in the entire book. I was like, maybe this girl isn't a total bitch after all. I almost died when Dean went into mine and got trapped. And then this thought isn't even in my head until Lauren goes, well, they wouldn't move us unless they were bringing out Dean and he was dead and they didn't want us to freak out. And I'm just like, I didn't even consider that. I literally don't think I breathed for like 3 minutes. Oh my god, it was horrifying. I was really surprised to find out that Lauren's dad was the person that saved Dean from his bad past. I don't know why. I feel like it should have been so obvious, but it just didn't click in my head. But it was really comforting to find that out because I felt like their relationship was now more than just, you know, passion, you know, there was actually like destiny behind it, you could say. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about was how much I just loved how Dean showed up at Lauren's mom's wedding. Like he was nearly dying in a hospital 24 hours prior. Nope, he just doesn't care. Just gonna hop on a plane with my fractured ribs and save my girlfriend from an awkward conversation with her ex-fiance. No big deal. So that's all these specific parts that I loved in Lily Paradise Ignite. I really hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did, and I am just so excited for Arclight. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you again, Lily and Elia, and everyone else who made this amazing book, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!